this is Dr. Neal. I'm coming to you casually today from the sofa just to chat about some of the emotional issues that are associated with acne. There's many misconceptions about acne that I oftentimes feel I need to preach and correct, or correct an injustice on some of the videos I make. But today we're just going to talk about the emotional experience with acne, and it really will be less preachy, and we'll just discuss what's actually going on with someone who's suffering from this condition. We'll try this new video series from the couch, and we'll call it Hanging Out with Dr. Neal. And in this first episode, we'll talk about the idea that other people who are not chronically having difficulty with their skin will not understand your struggle. And let's talk about that. Have you ever had the feeling that as you're washing your face many times a day and taking showers and trying to get clean, have you ever had the feeling that those around you, your friends or family or co-workers, don't really understand the struggle you're going through? This is a very common emotional reaction to having any chronic medical ailment, is that you alienate and isolate yourself because it feels that your life is different. And in reality, it is. If you're suffering from a medical condition and those around you are not, and you're living in suffering and they are just living, then there are some differences in your day-to-day life, and you are facing different challenges. However, unlike many other chronic ailments like obesity or chronic knee pain or more well-known conditions, with acne, it oftentimes feels that no one really gets the magnitude of the impact it's having on you because it's downplayed by our society. Now, you may think it should be downplayed. Why are we making a big fuss over acne? And I understand that cultural thought. The cultural thought of downplaying acne comes from the idea that your happiness and your beauty will come from inside anyway, which is ultimately true, and we'll discuss that in future videos. And the reality is this: if acne were just a phase in life that came with the growth spurt, didn't cause disfigurement or heavy scarring, and it was just part of the coming of adulthood, I would say let's not make a big fuss over it. And I think for some people, that's the experience they have. They reach adolescence, they have some acne flare-ups, they get through it, they're done growing, and their face is not permanently scarred by the situation, and nor is their mind. They get through it, they had acne, they can talk about it, and it's one of the trials and tribulations of life. However, it is slightly different emotionally when someone continues to have acne or has a severe case of acne beyond a short time period. It's the length of time that people are suffering that can really affect one's psyche. So here's why no one will understand the struggle you're going through. Number one, acne is downplayed by our society because for many people it is just a passing phase of life that you look back on as a difficult time and you'll get through it, you'll be fine. And because there's many people that have had that type of experience with acne, it will always be downplayed. That's number one. Number two, we've become immune to the reaction that something's wrong because we've seen it so frequently. It's such a common condition that our reaction to it has been blunted, or we've become accustomed to seeing it on people's faces. So it's really not treated as such a big deal because it's so common. Number three, the third reason why people will never really understand what you're going through, if you have had a long-standing inflammatory condition of your face, is that there's more going on besides the bumps. If you have acne, you likely also don't feel clean. And that feeling in and of itself can drive people crazy. That's one of the reasons why people take showers in the morning, is to feel clean. There's a sense of emotional and mental well-being when you feel clean. What's really difficult for an acne patient is that even after you take a shower with soap or products or both, you still feel unclean. The oil and the grime can be so persistent that despite your efforts to clean, you still feel grimy or dirty or unclean despite your efforts. It is this experience of feeling unclean while making efforts to get clean and not liking the look of the bumps and the marks that can and often do drive people a little crazy. I'm here on the couch today to very calmly discuss the emotional effects of acne, and we'll do several episodes of this to specifically address all kinds of emotional issues that come from not being in control of your body. The truth is, someone who's never had a chronic inflammatory condition on their face will never, ever really understand what it feels like to have this condition. And that's okay. I think people get frustrated when others, their family or their friends, don't understand. But the only thing you have to know is that the struggle that you're having is not new to other people that have had the same acne struggle. You see, there's many people out there who can't get clean. And there's many people out there who can't control their bumps. And there's many people out there who are scared of their menstrual periods because they're worried about what's going to happen to their face. And there's many people out there with things in their body so uncomfortable and so marked up that they haven't taken their shirt off in years. They haven't been to a pool. They haven't been to the beach. So let's today find peace in the reality that they will never understand and that we're okay with that. My skin right now feels really good today. It feels really clean. It doesn't have flakes on it. It doesn't have oil on it. It doesn't have bumps on it. It feels really comfortable and light. It doesn't feel heavy. And I celebrate that because I know what it's like to have, 15, 20 years of a heavy face full of oil that does not feel comfortable. And I'm not cured of this condition. I just feel good today. And that should be your goal too. Your goal is not to be cured of all your emotional and physical ailments. Your goal is to take control over any part of your body that is imbalanced or not acting properly. Sometimes it takes a lot of skill and a lot of weaponry to do so. And that's why I created an acne boot camp, because there is no quick acne secret, there's no quick acne remedy, there's no one cream that's going to be good for you for life. Sometimes it does require a full boot camp, a full commitment. While I was struggling emotionally with this condition and physically, my friends and my family didn't really understand either. And my family, I told them many times, and they were always quick. This was what was frustrating for me. My family was always quick to, number one, downplay the situation and then quickly look for what was really bothering me. Say, you know what, if you're so upset about your skin, there must be something else that's bothering you. Now, that's kind of true. There was other things that are bothering me, but it was really my skin that was feeding the process as the primary aggravator of all my emotional discomforts. The social isolation comes from the problem with the skin. The anxiety and the reactive momentum and the reactive disorders you develop, they were being fed by the ongoing skin problem. The skin problem was not handled yet, and the emotional problems were just building. It's two different problems intertwined. They are their own problems, but they're very much intertwined. To people who are not suffering, it's like you're talking about something very superficial, and they don't get it, number one, and they don't care. And frankly, I found it to be a little off-putting to people when I brought it up. So my suggestion is to make peace with the idea that those who are not suffering from this condition will never understand, nor do they need to. You don't need to isolate yourself and only hang out with people who are also suffering. That's more of a misery loves company situation, and I'm not a big fan of that form of coping. Although it can be a nice catharsis to finally get off your chest to someone who does understand, I believe hanging out with those who are also suffering can sometimes breed more victimization and more hopelessness. My suggestion is that you take on your problems head on, know they're treatable from the body of evidence that I've created and that has already been proven, and take on your problems. My skin today feels good. It has a little bit of wear and tear on it from 20 years of inflammation, and it's comfortable. I do have to put a little extra effort in, and I have been around many friends who have zero skin problems whatsoever, and they're in and out of the bathroom in about 3 minutes and done, ready to go out. I celebrate that. That's fine for them. What I say as a joke is, I'll be right back. I got to do some boot camp. It might take me a couple minutes, and then I'm right back out in the world. It took me a while to get that efficient at getting control, but like I said, these conditions take a lot of skill and a lot of weaponry. So, I would recommend you not assume it's going to be easy. It's going to be difficult, and that's okay. Those people who give in to difficult challenges of life always regret it and always suffer from victimization. If you're having a difficult, challenging condition like acne, you have no option but to step up your game and step up your character and fight it with full fury and never give in. That's really your only option in life. The other is to accept hopelessness or to accept a weakened state of mind, which is unacceptable to me. So getting back to the point of the video, they will never understand. And it's okay. It's okay. I understand, you understand, and the truth is, it is a bit of a boring conversation to indulge in your chronic ailments of any kind. What's inspiring and less boring is to take them on. Take on your problems. If you're having skin problems, take them on. I find in the acne practice, I always get an influx of new clients around New Year's. And this comes from just the phenomenon that New Year's brings, that people are ready to take on their lives. They're becoming conscious to what's bothering them, and then they take it on. If you feel you don't have time or energy to take on the things that bother you in this life, I recommend checking out the CrossFit section of the blog. It will teach you about how to generate energy from fatigue, how to generate more time in your day by moving the blood in your body in a way that gives you a vitality. And with that vitality, you can fight any ailment. The reason people suffer needlessly from chronic ailments is oftentimes because they run out of energy. And so part of the reason I have on the homepage the Dr. Neal's World of Wellness is because oftentimes it will take energy to take on these difficult ailments, regardless of what they are. Acne is just one of the many difficult ailments. The acne practice represents an intolerance to the idea of needless suffering. I know everyone along the way is going to victimize themselves as part of our humanity, and I don't need to preach today about how hopelessness is unacceptable. You know that I find hopelessness unacceptable, and I'm very calm in that stance today. And I'm very at peace with the idea that some people will quickly move to hopelessness. I understand that phenomenon, and while I don't accept it, I understand it. And so the passionate work that I do day to day is essentially taking a stand or taking on hopelessness. If someone tells me their case is untreatable, they are directly challenging me to something that I know to be untrue. I'm going to keep reiterating my view on this phenomenon until everyone gets behind me in the culture and also doesn't allow for needless suffering. I believe as the body of work gets bigger and as the culture gets more aware that we suffer oftentimes for nothing, that those who isolate themselves or become antisocial or alienate themselves or believe that they are different based on a medical or chronic ailment suffering, that behavior will no longer be accepted. It will no longer be socially acceptable even from afar. If, say, your friend or family goes introverted one year at age 15, the rest of the family jumps on them and says, what is going on? Is this your skin problem that you can't talk about? Do you have a GI problem? What is it that's bothering you? Have you been traumatized? Was there an event? What is bothering you? And so that's the stand I take. It's easier for me to get off point in these videos. Today's video will be about how they will never understand I'm at peace with that. You be at peace with that. It's okay. This is a treatable condition. And so whether they understand it or not, doesn't matter as long as you get treated to satisfaction. And so once you are treated to satisfaction, they also won't understand what it takes to maintain that level of satisfaction. And they might jump in and out of the shower in 3 minutes and that's it. And they're very satisfied themselves. That it's okay that they don't understand that it might take you a couple extra moves, a couple extra steps. It might take you a couple more skills. That's fine. There's going to be things in their life that you'll never understand. And that's okay. And you and I will not be angry at someone for not understanding, because we understand that they will never understand. And that's okay. You didn't understand before you had experienced it, so why should they understand? They've never experienced it. And so it's okay. We're at peace with it. I'll talk to you guys soon. I'll be making videos where I'm staunchly preaching, and I'll make some videos where we're just hanging out. And I'll just keep chipping away at this issue until our entire culture understands what's going on with this condition. That's my promise to you. I'll keep chipping away at it. Talk to you soon. Bye.